let's record this session because otherwise we're gonna lose it. And we are at page 42 in our book. We did it.
Yes.
And we have to go to page 43 with a bit of pronunciation. Okay. Okay, Chiara is arriving. Myla should arrive as well. She should arrive as well. Actually, when we were doing this lesson just face to face, I remember that the first 20-25 minutes we spent just taking coffees and everything. So everybody was arriving late and we were ending up to the end, but we were in the same room, so we could do it. With this kind of lesson, actually, we had to change a bit our habits. Okay. Hi, Chiara, you there?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Welcome, darling.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. Good morning to you there.
Good morning.
Okay. So let's get into some pronunciation. So this is the sound of, okay, Mila's arriving. She's just hearing the sound. All of us now.
We are on page
Antonella.
43.
Yes, page 43. Hi,
Okay,
Myla. Hi.
Good morning.
We were waiting for you. We were just wondering where you were.
Yes.
Sono 10 minuti che cerco di entrare col PC, ancora non entro.
What's up? Even your PC at home has got problems.
Devi perdere.
Don't mention. Okay, now circle the word with a different sound. Page 43, darling. Pronunciation. Okay, the first sound that we see, you see the horns, ho, o, o. Okay, so the sound is o, like horse. Okay, let's try to find out which one has got a different sound. Anna, let's try.
Pouring, storm, hardly, warm.
Hardly, pouring, storm, hardly, warm. Oh. Okay, very good. Now the sound is like egg. Edo, could you please find out which one is different?
So, weather, heavy, clear, pleasant. Weather. Heavy.
Pleasant.
If it's pronouncing like this, but the pronunciation is a bit different because it's weather, heavy, clear, pleasant.
Clear. Okay.
Clear. Yes.
Pleasant.
Now that the sound is like oh, telephone. Oh. Somebody.
Lounge, snow, cold, closed. Allora secondo me è close.
Be careful.
Lounge.
Oh,
No,
you say
no.
Lounge. Snow, cold, closed. Look at the mouth. Lounge. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so lounge is the one. Chiara, are you with us? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because we don't see you anyway. The sound is
okay.
Up.
I resolved the problem of no video, but could you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, no problem. Okay. So the sound is up.
Okay. Luggage. flood, thunder, humid. I think humid.
Yes, it is humid, but be careful. It's luggage, flood,
Flood.
thunder, humid. Humid.
Okay.
Okay, so they're all except the humid. Myla, you back? Okay. So sound is A, like train. Train.
Okay.
Let's go.
Rain, rain, trolley, lately, delayed. Trolley.
Trolley.
Okay.
Rain, trolley, lately, delayed. Trolley. Okay.
Giusto? Perché ora mi viene il dubbio con trolley.
No, trolley, trolley, trolley. It's not trolley, but it's trolley. Per cui è giusto.
Which is a resolution.
Trolley, trolley,
Trolley.
trolley, trolley. Because it's not trolley. It's trolley, trolley, trolley.
Okay.
This is rain, lay,
Lay.
lay,
Trolley.
a. Okay. Okay. Let's try to pronounce them in the correct way. Okay. And of course, if we can underline the main stress syllable, but it's important that we just recognize the right and correct pronunciation. Anna.
Eventually.
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 Eventually. Eventually. Gian Maria.
Gradually.
Gradually. Gradually. Myla?
Especially.
Yeah, especially. Chiara?
Passenger.
Passenger. Passenger. And Edo?
Hurricane.
Hurricane. Hurricane. So let's start at the beginning. Hurricane.
Hurricane.
Hurricane. Hurricane. Okay. Now we are going to read an article now about wingsuit. Do you know wingsuit flying? Do you know anything about wingsuit flying?
No?
You think it's a popular hobby? If you don't know what it is, probably it's not so popular. Okay, let's see. This is the wingsuit.
Okay. Oh my God.
Terrible. They believe they can fly. This is coming from a song. I believe I can fly.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's get it. So they believe they can fly. Okay, Myla, could you please read it?
They believe that they can fly. Some people just won't be satisfied till they can fly. This primal urge has given rise to wingsuit flyers, thrill seekers who lead off cliffs or out of airplane wearing a widget jumpsuit.
Okay, now what we have to put inside is the sentence that you need to put it here. So could you please, Myla, read all the sentences and then we decide together which one is the correct one to put inside it.
But the sport truly took off in 1997. Some wingsuit flyers attach cameras to their helmets. Yeah. For me, the crazy thing isn't continuing to do it. With practice, some wingsuiters can stay in the air for more than 3 minutes. The acronym stands for the potential jump-off point.
Jump-off points, yes.
Jump-off point. But wingsuiters are not easily deterred.
Deterred. Yes, deterred. Okay, we just
Allora.
put anything you think and we just check it out at the end. Okay, so
Okay.
which one is the sentence that you think is correct? Wingsuit, jumpsuit.
Allora.
And hit speeds of over 100 miles an hour, achieving what they say.
Scusate un attimo. Bruno non posso.
Okay, Myla. So let's go on to the whole first paragraph.
Yeah.
And then decide which one do you think is the correct sentence to put it on.
The speed over our chips and this speed. No. With pride we can stay for 1 minute.
Over.
Boh.
With the article against.
Okay, maybe.
Or sì. Però mi pare strano poi che fa end.
For me, the crazy thing, for me, the crazy thing is and.
No.
No.
So end non mi torna.
D. Number D.
D. She said D. With practice, some wingsuiters can stay in the air for more than 3 minutes and hit speeds of over 100 miles an hour, achieving what they say is the closest thing to engine-less flight that humans have ever experienced. Okay, let's say that it could be D. Okay, Anna, could you do the second part of the...
It's a weird, risky thing to do, said Tanya Weiss, 35, a professional wingsuit pilot. But the dream of flight is ancient, and some of us feel like it's something we were born with. In addition to the dozen or so professionals like Mrs. Weiss, who spend their work days filming adverts and doing movie stunts, there are only a handful of people who have ever actually tried it. Most are elite skydivers, also known as base jumpers.
Okay, then you got buildings, antennas, spans, bridges, and earth. For example, hills and clay.
Aspetta.
So the other one you say...
Some wingsuit flyers attach cameras to their helmets. Could be.
What do you think, other people?
Fammi rileggere il testo.
E?
Oh, the acronym stands for the points.
Base jumpers, buildings, antennas, spans, and earth.
È la spiegazione di base,
Sì,
no?
forse
Potrebbe?
the acronym stands for...
Vabbè.
Potrebbe essere quello.
Potential jumper.
Okay. Let me try to... So one you say was D, and two you say was E. Okay. Okay, Chiara, could you please go on?
Yes. There have been many attempts at wingsuit flying through throughout history, dating from the German engineer Otto Lilienthal, who in the late 19th centuries designed winged gliders that allowed him to fly up to 1,000 feet without an engine. When the French, okay.
No, go, read it to connect.
Okay. When the French skydiver Patrick de Gaillardon successfully jumped from a plane wearing nothing but a modified jumpsuit.
Jumpsuit, yes.
Jumpsuit. Okay. On the side, which a client that allow him to fly an engine.
Perché questi mettono pure battuto per punto poi.
Sì, yes. I think number A, the letter A, but the sport trolley took off in 1997 when the French skydiver Patrick de Gaillardon successfully jumped from a plane wearing nothing but a modified jumpsuit. I think.
I agree.
Yes.
Letter A.
Okay, big
Grossa.
A. Big
Big
A. Ops. Ops. It's not mine. Ops. Oh yeah, I am. Okay. Okay. Gian Maria. Oh yes, yeah, wingsuit.
Wingsuit flying as spectator sport derives much of its thrill from people putting their lives at risk and extremely high speed. But Otto Lilienthal and Patrick de Gaillardon died trying to achieve flight with winged outfits. And did Eric Stevenson, Tanya Wills, mentor and
Fiancé, yes. 4. And then what it could be, number 4. Sorry.
Ma una in più.
Probably. There is one sentence you do not need.
Perché me ne una di troppo.
Yes, it is.
Oh, infami.
Like they do in the exam. They always do like this.
Oh.
Oh, brava.
So here is they all died, and then despite the death that man, but it's just one sentence that is connected one to the other.
Yes.
Can you reread?
Yes. So here they're just telling that all they were risking their lives and they died. And there's a list of people dying. And then there's this sentence we have to put, and then despite the death of the man she planned to marry, Miss Wise, who recently led a successful effort to set a world record for the largest wingsuit skydive formation with 99 others in California, still pursues her dream of flying. So which it could be the right one?
C. I think C.
You think? For me, the crazy thing isn't continuing to do it.
Okay, yes.
Or?
But wingsuits are not easily deterred.
But wingsuiters are not easily deterred.
Pure questa.
Deterred?
What does mean deterred?
Deterred is very similar. Even in Italian, that's the same word, like a deterrente.
Deterrente.
But here is used as a verb, so they are not discouraged.
Esatto.
Yeah.
Perché mi sembra una cosa troppo personale come considerazione, però non lo so.
So you think that is F?
Yes.
Let's put it up.
Also for me, F.
Non lo
Also
so.
for you. Okay. Let's go in and put F.
Vedi, mo se ti capita in un esame è una caciara, perché non è che quella non ci
Ma perché secondo me questo è un articolo, lì mi sembra una considerazione personale quell'altra,
capito.
perché dice per me, poi non lo so.
I agree.
Very good observation. Very good. Okay, Edo. I thought
about quitting.
Kitting.
I thought about quitting, she said, but we are, ci stanno le telecamere dove devo leggere io.
Le puoi spostare con il mouse o le trascini via, perché io le ho già spostate.
C'è una scritta di Anto.
Ah, vado a vedere. Sì, vado.
Non può,
Grazie.
non ce la fa.
I thought about quitting, she said, but we are punishing the boundaries of what humans can do.
Yes, pushing the boundaries.
We are pushing the boundaries of what humans can do.
Yes.
The crazy things would be to talk away from this thing that has brought me together with some of the most incredible people in the world.
Okay, so number 5, and now, of course, it's not the last one, because you got you got a couple to choose on it.
Esatto.
Some wingsuit flyers attach cameras to their helmets, or for me, the crazy thing isn't continuing to do it.
May I read again, please?
Yes. I thought, if you want me to read, I thought about kitting, she said, but we're pushing the boundaries of what humans can do.
Okay.
The crazy thing would be to work. So she is speaking at first person.
Ok.
So,
for me, the crazy thing.
Crazy thing isn't continue to do it.
So you think it's C?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sì.
È tra virgolette.
Okay, and let's say if it's C here. And now we are going to check it out.
Yeah.
So we had number 1, you say D. Yes, it is. With practice, some wingsuiter can stay in the air for more than 3 minutes. Number 2, you say E, and it is E. The acronym stands for the potential jump of points. Number 3, you say A, and it's A, but the sport truly took off in 1997. Number 4, you say F, but wingsuiters are not easily deterred. And number 5 is C. For me, the crazy thing isn't continuing to do it. So now let's get into the language and find out if there are some words that you think, even though if with or without any translation, you understood the whole. So there's no actually a big problem in understanding. But let's see if there are some words that I think. So you know this primal urge as given rise to wingsuit flyers, thrill seekers, who leap off cliffs. thrill seekers. Who are the thrill seekers? People that are seeking for thrilling experiences.
Yes.
Okay.
Adrenalinici, no?
Yes, yes, yes. Who leap off cliffs and out of airplanes wearing winged jumpsuits and hit speeds of over 100 miles an hour, achieving what they say is the closest thing to engine-less flight than humans have ever experienced. It's a weird, you know the word weird,
Weird. No.
strange, unusual, completely odd, weird. Okay, risky thing to do, said Tanya Weiss, 35 professional wingsuit pilot. But the dream of flight is ancient, and some of us feel like it's something we were born with. In addition to the 12 people, 12 dozen, of so professional like Miss Wise, who spend their workdays filming adverts and doing movie stunts. You know, stunts is like, we use the same word in Italian when you say a stuntman.
Amen.
There are only a handful, you know, a handful of people. How do you say in Italian? A handful.
Una manciata, una manciata.
That's
Sì, qualcosa con le
handful.
mani.
Yes, a handful of people who have, that means not more than 5, a handful of people who have ever actually tried it. Most are elite skydivers, also known as base jumpers, building antennas spans their bridges and earth, for example, hills and cliffs. There have been many attempts of wingsuit flying throughout history, dating from the German engineer Otto Lilienthal, who in the late 18th designed winged gliders that allow him to fly up to 1,000 feet without an engine. When the French skydiver Patrick de Gaillardon successfully jumped from a plane wearing nothing but a modified jumpsuit.
I'm sorry, what does mean winged gliders?
What are the winged gliders? The gliders are those airplanes without any engine. Those are the gliders, and they are winged, not winged, but winged because they are from wing. Wing. Okay, the gliders, because they glide. Scivolano, no? Okay, and despite the death of the man she planned to marry, Miss Weiss, Gallardon to achieve flight with winged outfits, as did Eric Stevenson, Tanya's wise mentor and fiancé. Despite the death of the man she planned to marry, Miss Weiss, who recently led the successful effort to set a world record for the largest wingsuit skydive formation with 99 others in California, still pursues her dream of flying. I thought about quitting, she said, but we're pushing the boundaries, trying to go over and over and over the limits, the boundaries. Yeah, of what humans can do. The crazy thing would be to walk away from this thing that has brought me together with some of the most incredible people in the world. Okay, very good. Okay, now let's get back to the weather. The weather thing. Now we are going to watch this short film. It lasts 4 minutes or something. So it's a film about weather in England and in the British weather more than England. Okay, let's see what we should understand it. So we try to read something before in order to understand it better. So of British people begin a conversation by talking about the weather. Here there's a word we don't know. Probably you have to put it when we watch the video. People talk even more about the weather nowadays because in Britain's becoming 2 words. 2012 was the year since records began. British is quite compared to other countries. The British weather has an influence on its Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown blamed Britain's bad economic performance on the In the UK, elections are nearly always held in the Some experts say that the weather is the reason why Britain has never had a
life.
Oh, come on. Turner and Constable are famous British, of course, who were inspired by the weather. The expression to weather the means to survive something. Ok,
queste però sono proprio parole che noi dobbiamo capire così come sono.
Esatto, dovete solo trascrivere e capirle dal video.
Per cui le frasi sono simili, non è che devo andare verticale.
No, dovete solo comprenderle. Comprehension. Per cui adesso io faccio partire il video, naturalmente senza sottotitoli, lo tengo piccolo perché penso che se lo ingrandisco non lo sentite bene.
Io continuo a sostenere tu abbia una forte forma di sadismo in queste circostanze.
No, questo, guardate, questo non è affatto difficile, soprattutto perché vi ho letto queste frasi che vi conducono un po' per mano durante tutto il video, che vi fa capire di che cosa parla, per cui seguendo questa struttura è più facile per voi trovare le parole giuste.
Ti posso chiedere di toglierci gli Audi, prof?
Yes, I was just doing it.
Bravo.
Ok.
If you've been to Britain, you'll have noticed that British people love to talk about the weather. By the end of their life, the average British person will have spent 6 months discussing it.
A recent survey found that 1/4 of the population use the weather as a conversation starter. And 70% of people check the weather every day.
Recently, it has become even more popular as a conversation topic. This is because the weather in Britain is becoming more extreme. In 2013, the country had the coldest spring in 50 years, and 2012 was the wettest year since records began.
But in reality, this spell of severe weather is nothing compared to the droughts, torrential rain and devastating storms experienced in other parts of the world. Compared to other countries, the British weather is still quite mild.
Some people say this is why we love talking about it. The weather is a safe topic of conversation, perfect for the famously reserved British. But whatever the reason, one thing is certain: this national obsession with weather shapes our everyday lives and has had a huge social impact, influencing the country's economy and its politics.
In 2011, the British Chancellor George Osborne blamed the weather for the country's disappointing economic performance, because the winter of 2010 had been the coldest and snowiest in decades. he wasn't the first politician to blame the weather. The former Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, had also used the cold weather as an excuse when the economy wasn't doing well. Rain has also had an effect. In 2012, heavy rain contributed to the very slow growth of the British economy. People stopped going out to buy things in shops, eat in restaurants, or socialise in pubs and cafes. Instead, they stayed at home and kept their money in their pockets.
But the role of weather in British politics isn't confined to the economy.
British elections are almost always held in the spring or the summer. This is because politicians believe people are more likely to come out to vote if the weather is good. Some experts say that the weather is why the UK has never had a revolution. Britain's mild weather means the country doesn't suffer from the extreme heat or extreme cold, which can often cause food shortages, which in turn often lead to rebellion.
The British weather has also shaped British culture, and it's a constant theme in both literature and art.
Many of the great British artists, such as Turner and Constable, found inspiration in Britain's weather. It appears in many famous British plays, books and poems, and features heavily in the work of the country's most famous writer, William Shakespeare.
In fact, the weather has even had a huge impact on our language, and there are lots of weather idioms in English.
If you say you are under the weather, it means you're ill. And if you're snowed under, you're busy. If you weather the storm, it means you survive something. And if you're right as rain, you're feeling fine.
Come rain or shine, the British will always have something to say about the weather. It's part of our daily lives and has influenced who we are, how we live, and how we express ourselves.
Okay, wasn't bad. It was very good, I think.
Non ce lo faresti risentire?
Io ho avuto solo un problema, siccome la finestra era davanti al testo, quelle, diciamo, le altre sono andate a interpretazione.
Ok, allora proviamo a rivedere quelle che abbiamo colto e poi magari lo vediamo con i sottotitoli per riuscire a definire tutto. Però sì, perché ho pensato al fatto che la finestra era davanti al testo, ma non potevo fare diversamente. Avreste dovuto avere voi il vostro, il vostro foglio con il testo, però insomma mi rendo conto. Perché ho tirato giù il microfono, magari non mi sentite, che ho mangiato un cracker di farvi sentire il mio crono.
Eri lontana.
Sì, ho messo sul microfono. Ok, allora vuol dire che funziona. Ok, now complete the sentence with 1 or 2 words. Anna, chi ha preso la prima parte pure, ditemi, riattivatevi.
Love o use?
A lot of, dici te? Potrebbe essere, no.
A quarter
of British people, because they say, it doesn't say a quarter, but they say 75% of population.
Ah, yes.
Okay. Or something like that, they say. I don't think it say a quarter. A quarter of British people begin a conversation, I don't remember actually, sorry, by talking about the weather. So that means a great part of them.
75%?
So no, 75% they are not a quarter, they are much more.
70.
Yeah. So I don't remember what it say, but I think it probably say a quarter. Okay, people talk even more about the weather nowadays because in Britain it's becoming
more extreme.
More extreme.
Brava.
More extreme. Yes. 2012 was the year since records began.
Niente.
Io avevo messo country, ma adesso non c'entra niente, visto così.
No,
Era
was
dopo.
the most qualcosa.
The wettest.
Wettest.
The wettest.
The wettest.
Che sarebbe sto wettest?
Is the superlative of wet.
Piovoso,
Yes, yes.
Mannaggia, io questo me lo confondo col secco.
Piovoso.
Bagnato.
Wet, bagnato.
Bagnatissimo. Che
Non
poi in
l'ho
italiano
proprio
c'è.
memorizzato, niente.
Bagnatissimo.
Dry.
Me confondo dry con wet, proprio nel senso.
Che puoi fare? Puoi
Niente.
visualizzarli, puoi cercare di
Quindi è
visualizzarli.
piovoso o bagnatissimo? Non ho capito,
Esatto.
perché a me veniva
Il più piovoso.
Piovoso,
L'anno più
piovoso.
piovoso. Noi diremmo l'anno più piovoso perché non diciamo il più
Ok.
bagnato in italiano.
Ok.
In inglese possiamo dirlo.
Sono strani.
Yes, they are. British weather is quite compared to other countries.
Io la parola non l'ho capita, però è una cosa tipo mild,
It is mild. It is mild. You got it. You got it.
Che vuol dire?
Mild era mite.
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 Ah, ok.
The British weather has an influence on its and on what?
Economy and politics.
Economy and politics.
Politics.
And politics, yes. Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown blamed Britain's bad economic performance on the
Dunque, economy from
No, questa non l'ho presa. C'ha che fa col tempo sempre.
Oh yes. Cold weather. On the cold weather.
Cold weather. Sì, perché poi dice che le elezioni le fanno, ok.
Yes, okay. 7. In the UK, elections are nearly always held in the or
Spring
or summer.
Summer.
Summer l'ho presa.
Yes.
Ok.
Questo
Some experts say that the weather is the reason why Britain has never had a
revolution.
Yeah,
Sì.
revolution. Turner and Constable are famous British
Musician? No, sì, so.
Pittori?
Actually, they're painters, but I think they say artists. I think they say artists.
Artists, okay.
Actually, they are painters, but in the film, it say artists who were inspired by the weather. The expression to weather the means to survive something.
The storm? No.
Yeah, to weather the storm. We say survive to the storm.
Okay.
Okay. So this is almost, if you understand almost everything about this film. You were very good. Okay, do you want to watch it with all the subtitles to understand it all?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you.
Io ti dirò che l'ho capito.
Infatti, it was a very good speaker.
Il problema è che tu quando cerchi la parola andare di mettere la frase o altro ti perdi l'inizio di quella dopo, quindi non riesci a scrivere a fare, però il concetto si capisce.
Yes,
bisogna ascoltare senza leggere, ascoltare senza leggere.
Però devi leggere per scrivere, quindi te perdi.
Lo so, infatti però mi sono persa delle parole perché leggevo le frasi.
So actually what we could do next time is watching the film once without doing any exercise and then going on with the exercise afterward.
Ma noi dobbiamo accrescere le nostre skills.
Yes, I think that
Possiamo fare tutto insieme.
your skills are good enough by now, but you have to improve them. And your listening has been improved a lot. So, of course, this film is very not easy because it's normal. You see, even the speed of the speaker was correct, wasn't too slow, wasn't a teaching speed, was just normal speed. So you were quite good to understand it all. And this is the way you have to face a video, a film, anything you are watching or just listening. So you could even try to listen to some podcasts. They are very good to learn and to improve your listening. Okay, let me put again this film with some subtitles. Very hot means very hot.
If you've been to Britain, you'll have noticed that British people love to talk about the weather. By the end of their life, the average British person will have spent 6 months discussing it.
A recent survey found that a quarter of the population use the weather as a conversation starter. And 70% of people check the weather every day. Recently, it has become even more popular as a conversation topic. This is because the weather in Britain is becoming more extreme. In 2013, the country had the coldest spring in 50 years, and 2012 was the wettest year since records began. But in reality, this spell of severe weather is nothing compared to the droughts, torrential rain, and devastating storms experienced in other parts of the world. Compared to other countries, the British weather is still quite mild.
Some people say this is why we love talking about it. The weather is a safe topic of conversation, perfect for the famously reserved British. But whatever the reason, one thing is certain. This national obsession with weather shapes our everyday lives and has had a huge social impact, influencing the country's economy and its politics.
In 2011, the British Chancellor, George Osborne, blamed the weather for the country's disappointing economic performance, because the winter of 2010 had been the coldest and snowiest in decades. He wasn't the first politician to blame the weather. The former Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, had also used the cold weather as an excuse when the economy wasn't doing well. Rain has also had an effect. In 2012, heavy rain contributed to the very slow growth of the British economy. People stopped going out to buy things in shops, eat in restaurants, or socialise in pubs and cafes. Instead, they stayed at home and kept their money in their pockets.
But the role of weather in British politics isn't confined to the economy.
British elections are almost always held in the spring or the summer. This is because politicians believe people are more likely to come out to vote if the weather is good. Some experts say that the weather is why the UK has never had a revolution. Britain's mild weather means the country doesn't suffer from the extreme heat or extreme cold, which can often cause food shortages, which in turn often lead to rebellion.
The British weather has also shaped British culture, and it's a constant theme in both literature and art.
Many of the great British artists, such as Turner and Constable, found inspiration in Britain's weather. It appears in many famous British plays books and poems, and features heavily in the work of the country's most famous writer, William Shakespeare.
In fact, the weather has even had a huge impact on our language, and there are lots of weather idioms in English.
If you say you are under the weather, it means you're ill. And if you're snowed under, you're busy. If you weather the storm, it means you survive something. And if you're right as rain, you're feeling fine.
Come rain or shine, the British will always have something to say about the weather. It's part of our daily lives and has influenced who we are, how we live, and how we express ourselves.
Okay. Now let's get into what is say at the end about the various idioms on the weather.
Yeah.
Tell me, Gian Maria.
I have two questions. Sotto
Tell
la
me.
pioggia significa occupato, ha detto?
No,
Yes.
that you're
Base.
no, it say under the storm.
Under the rain.
No,
No,
The rain.
under the rain. Right
Okay.
as rain.
I'm
That
very
you're
well.
fine.
I am
Okay.
very well. I am under the rain.
That you're okay. But now we're going to see some more idioms about the weather. I'm going to share it with you.
I understand. Sotto la neve occupato. In italiano.
Now, I got this. This one is just a presentation about some idioms that are referred to everything, and they are divided. Of course, I don't show you now the presentation in PowerPoint because it's very small and I cannot enlarge it to make it clear. You see, if I show you this, that is in a PDF, because it's like this. You see, this written in the presentation is too small. If you with this with the sharing of the screen, so I'm going just to do this. This is a small presentation about some of the idioms, and they are just divided into, for example, you know, raining cats and dogs. That means, how do you say in Italian? We got something similar, but not with cats and dogs.
Catinelle.
Piove a catinelle.
Catinelle.
Yes, piove is our piove a catinelle. So they are, you see, they are all divided into subjects. So the natural world, the parts of the body, and so on, emotion. But today we are going to just to see a bit of it. That is, this one referred to the natural world, that I'm going to make it, of course, bigger for you. And we find some of the ones that we have already found previously in the video. Okay. There are many idioms that refer to parts of the natural world, such as the weather or animals. Because these things are already common in English vocabulary, it's only natural that they end up being part of it, idiomatic expressions. So, raining cats and dog. Could you please read it, Mila?
raining cats and dogs. When you hear someone say, it's raining cats and dogs, you can bet then there is a downpour of heavy, torrential rain. Don't forget an umbrella.
Okay, so.
You can bet. Bet? What is bet?
Bet is a very common verb. How do you say when
Scommettere.
you... Yes.
Cosa? Cosa hai detto?
Scommettere.
A commettere. Scommettere.
Scommessa.
Okay.
Scommettere. You know, all the various shops, betting shops that they are all around.
Vero.
They all, the names are betting, better, something with bet. Okay, okay. Chiara, if you are going to, okay, hold your horses.
Calm down when you heard this expression. It doesn't mean you literally have horses. Instead, it means that someone is asking you to take it slow and reconsider before acting.
I think we got a similar expression in Italian. Maybe mordere il freno, maybe?
Almeggesso.
Yes, but it's not referred to the horses. Whilst mordere il freno, that means go calm, keep calm. Okay, yes. Anna.
Make hay while the sun shines. The expression above is in order. Don't waste time. Work hard whenever you have the opportunity. Here, the opportunity. Here, hay means money. So this expression probably arose from the fact that farmers have to take advantage of the good weather if they want to grow profitable crops.
Profitable crops. Yes, profitable crops. So hay. Okay, il fieno. Okay, hay. Il fieno. Yeah. Ciao Maria, this is the under the weather we were talking.
Under the weather. If one day you don't feel very well, you can show off your English and say, I'm feeling under the weather, which means that you are feeling ill.
Yeah, to be under the weather. Okay. Yes, it is. It's for the continuing of the other expressions that I'm going to share it to you.
Meteoropatico.
Yes, yes. This is all, we can continue a bit. Okay. This is not so much connected to the weather, but to the natural world that we can do. Why the pig? Because there's this way of say when pigs fly. If I want to say I'll do it when pigs fly, means that they'll never do it. We say something similar probably.
Gli asini che volano.
No, because gli asini che volano means that you're seeing something that is not
credible
in reality. Yes. But when pigs flies, we say alle calende greche, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lo stiamo per fare,
And then you got, let's finish this page. Edo, over the moon.
Over the moon. Have you ever felt like jumping for joy? You feel that way when you are over the moon. This means you are extremely happy.
I think we say the same in Italian, more or less. Over the moon.
Toccare il cielo con un dito.
Yes, yes.
Touch the sky.
Yes, we are much. We are
with your finger.
Much more. Yes, much more visual. Yes. This is nice as well, Myla.
Till the cows come home.
Yeah.
Cows are known for wandering very slowly. If someone wants to say in English that someone is slow or takes too long, they could use this expression. For example, he loves reading. He could stay at the library till the cows come home. He loved to read, so he could be in the library until wee hours of the night.
Yeah. Okay, so we probably have something similar in Italian. Actually, I'm not so good in Italian sentences, like, but anyway, okay, this one is the same as us. Even this one is interesting. This is nice, Gian Maria.
It's like hearing frogs. Imagine how difficult it would be to guarantee together hundreds of frogs in the same space. Can you picture the chaos? This expression means that action is complicated, chaotic, or nearly impossible.
Impossible. Herding frogs.
Sarebbe l'ago in un pagliaio?
No.
Actually, a very difficult task. And it's not easy to describe.
Don't say
radunare.
Ok, no.
Radunare,
non dire gatto finché non l'hai nel sacco.
No,
Don't say cats.
It's nice because it's very
qualcosa
visual,
di caotico.
no?
Sì, una
Caotico,
caciara.
che prova a radunare un branco di rane, a chiapparle tutte insieme, no?
Come asciugare gli scogli, queste cose così. Insomma.
Sì,
siamo andati proprio sulla...
And then you got a sitting duck, Anna.
A sitting duck, if you hear someone say, her silly comments made her a sitting duck for jokes, it means that the silly comments that she made left her as an easy target for jokes. So a sitting duck means an easy target to attack.
We say something in Italian that is, it's an old way, but I remember when I was at school, if a girl, especially a girl, I don't know how and why, but especially to girl, it was referred when somebody was talking too much without any sense, we say loca giuliva. So probably it's very similar to this sitting duck, somebody that is just telling stupid things. Okay, and this one, last one, is completely the same as is in Italian. Chiara, would you please read it for us?
Duck is just the female?
No, it's not. It's not. It's for both. No.
Okay.
The comparison is not right. Your comparison.
No,
right.
it's not, because usually, yes, but it's because it's very sexist in Italian. Say oca giuliva, you say just to a woman.
Very
but actually, as you know, that British are less sexist in language, at least in language, than Italian is. So that's why it's the only comparison that I was trying to. But you can say oca giuliva even for a man, but actually you don't say oca giuliva for a man. You say maybe un galletto. No, it's different.
No,
it's different. Yeah, it's not. It's our language that is very sexist. Very.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Chiara.
Okay, I start. Okay, every rose has its thorn. Roses are beautiful and elegant, but they all have thorns. Like roses, all good things have a negative side, and that is exactly what this phrase means.
That we have the same completely in Italian.
Yes.
Okay. So this is just a part of this presentation with some idioms that I tried to group. So divided into natural words, parts of the body, feelings and emotion, bad mood, understanding, having fun. But we could continue. I got so many that we could have hundreds of presentation. What we can do, it's when you remind me to do it, because I would probably forget it, just taking some of them and trying to learn some of them a little by little, like a page a week, okay, to trying to learn more about idioms that are anyway part of the what we needed. I wanted to do an exercise with you, a grammar exercise with one of my quizzes, but we're going to do it on a Friday morning when even Antonella and Sharon are here. And so we do this kind of revision of all tenses together. Okay?
Okay.
Look at Anna. If I have to, if I must, ok. Ok.
Ma la lezione scorsa non l'hai ancora messa su...
Non ce l'ho fatta,
No,
nessuna.
quando
Non
riesci?
non ne ho messa ancora nessuna. Le devo mettere su adesso perché ho passato il weekend a preparare tutte lezioni soprattutto per i
Ah, no, ma non ti
bambini.
preoccupare, era perché con lo schema che ci hai mandato volevo
Sì.
provare a fare quello che abbiamo
Sì,
fatto la scorsa
certo.
lezione.
Che è fantastico.
Però corretti i compiti, a te ti ho mandato delle correzioni
Sì,
che
ho
erano
visto.
da un mese che ce l'avevo, ho corretto tutto quello che ho trovato.
Infatti,
Ok,
l'ho visto.
ok, ok, see you on Thursday or Friday or both.
Ok, va
Big
bene.
kiss.
Have a nice
Bye
day.
bye. Have a nice day
Bye.
to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.